I'm now logged in to Harry's Salesforce system. You can see there I'm on an account record, and on the account record, Harry's created a custom field called client type. If I click on the client type, I could see that it's actually a multi-select value, and the options available are subscription or services. The reason it's a multi-select value is a customer might be just a subscription customer, they might be a services customer, or potentially both. What Harry needs is the ability for the client type to be specified on the account record based on the type of services in which Harry is providing to this particular customer. In Harry's system, he uses opportunities, and against these opportunities, he uses opportunity products. And there's two types of product families or products in which Harry sells. He sells services and subscriptions. So in this particular scenario, what Harry needs is the ability to roll up the product family from the related opportunity to the account record and populate that multi-select value. Now, without Segmentive, Harry would need to write a trigger to be able to do that. So he would actually need to write code to do that. Using Segmentive, I'm going to demonstrate how this can be done using standard Salesforce reports and the Segmentive application. So using standard reports, I've created a report called Services Accounts. This report is based on the standard Salesforce report called Opportunities with Products. The columns that I've added to this report is the account ID, opportunity name, and the product family associated to the product line items. I've also created a filter to only show accounts that have the product family equals services, right? So all I need to now do is now save and run this report. And you can see that I've got my report that calls services account, and I've got one record which matches the criteria, being clouding around quote, which has a product of services. Now, using the Segmentive application, what I can then do is now set this report criteria to populate that value on the account record. Now, going into the Segmentive app, you can see that I've got the segment definitions, segmentation report results, and segmentations. To create a new definition, all I need to do is go to the Segment Definitions tab and click on. This takes me to the Segment Definition Builder. What I need to do is give it a name, specify the object in which I want to roll the value up to, specify the type. So within Segmentive, I've got various types of how I want this value to be populated. I could say always, which is created when the record appears in results, dated, which gives me start and end dates as to when these segments come in and out. And then I've also got the ability to specify whether I just want to populate it inactive. For this particular scenario, I'm going to choose dated. Scheduled run. So by ticking scheduled run, what the system will actually do is it'll run this report regularly, and it will actually update the picklist values based on records dropping in and out of that report based on that report criteria that I've set using the standard Salesforce reports. I then need to specify my report in which I want to use for my criteria. I'm going to specify my report services accounts. With my reports, I need to specify the account ID, and I need to specify which record I need to associate it with. So if I was rolling up to a contact record, I need to have the contact ID on the report. If I was rolling up to an opportunity, I need to have the opportunity ID in my report. So once I've specified my account ID, I then need to tick up roll up segmentation, right? Specify the field that I want to populate. So in this particular one, I'm going to populate the client type, right? And then I just need to specify the value that I want to populate if an account reaches or meets this criteria. So I'm going to specify services. Cool. So what will happen is that will then queue, and it will update my account based on anybody who matches that criteria in my report. So if I go back to my account now, clouding around, right, you can see there my client type is now populated as services. So it actually has rolled up that value from my report to my account record. Now, let's say I also needed to create a segment based on subscriptions. What I would do is I'd create a segment again by going to the new, right, specify my object once again, specify scheduled run, specify dated. Now with this particular one, I'm going to choose subscription accounts. So I want to roll up onto the account record any subscription clients onto the client. Once again, pick my field to roll up, select the field that I want to populate and specify the value. The account matches my report criteria. I then click Save and Run, and that'll now run and populate my accounts. Going back to my account, I can now see that the client type is now populated with both subscription and services. So this client is both a subscription client and a services client. In addition to populating the picklist values, Segmentive also creates a history tracking of when clients actually meet the criteria. So you can see there, based on my queries and the definition, I could see that this client has actually met 2 of the segment definitions against this particular account. Now, the really cool thing about Segmentive, it also has the ability to update if clients no longer meet criteria, as if they don't meet the report criteria, they'll actually update the field on the account record. So let's go through to the opportunity and remove one of those product from the opportunity, right? So let's remove the subscription. So this client is no longer a subscription client. So once I've removed that, if I go back to my segment definitions, I can now click on the subscriptions, click edit. Now I can just click Save and Run, which will update it now, or alternatively, I can wait for the daily update to happen, which will update the value automatically. But I'm just clicked on Save and Run to run it now. Coming back to my account, I can now see that the client type is now populated with services. So I could see that it's actually moved subscription from this particular account based on that account no longer matching the report criteria. If I go to my related records, I can now see that there's actually if I go to my subscription record, I can actually see there's actually a start and end date, which shows me when this criteria actually matched, when this record actually matched the criteria, and also when it came out of the criteria. So this allows me to track when accounts are matching criteria and when they're coming out of criteria. So in this particular example, if I wanted to track how many accounts became subscription accounts or were no longer subscription accounts, I can actually track it through the segmentation process. That's just a really quick demo of Segmentive and how you could potentially use it in a real life scenario. Please watch some of the other videos to get some ideas of how the system can be used to create or populate values on account, contact, or opportunity records. Thank you for your time.